Yesterday, President Trump gave his daily briefing on the government's action to stem the economic and health crisis facing the country. And there was one person that was noticeably absent, and that would be Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now, he's the leader of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease and is a member of the White House CV task force, right? So now, this is a guy who last week face palmed during a press conference and then gave an interview with Science Magazine. So now he pushed back on many of the dangerous ideas told by Donald Trump during these press conferences, including the debunking the use of an anti-malaria drug called chloroquine, right? So now Donald Trump is coming out there saying, oh, yeah, we're going to use this drug and you pair it with another drug. It's an effective treatment. It's an effective treatment. And so do that, and then we can all get back to work. Well, Dr. Fauci said, no, don't do that. It's not going to work. So don't. It's not proven. And that, of course, went into direct opposition of what Donald Trump had already said. But now remember, in the science interview, right, this is what Dr. Fauci said, quote, the next time they sit down with him and talk to him about what he's going to say, they will say, by the way, Mr. President, be careful about this and don't say that. But then added, I can't jump in front of the microphone and push him down, okay? He said it. Let's try and get it corrected for the next time. Well, look, that didn't happen because Dr. Fauci was not there. He was not present on Monday when Donald Trump began talking about those things and repeating those same debunked claims, those things that are very dangerous to go and advise people to do. And so he was asked about it, and let's take a look at his answer.
Dr. Fauci, right now, why is he not this briefing? Will he attend future ones?
I was just with him for a long time. And he's at the task force meeting right now. We have a task force meeting. He was there.
Does he agree with you about the need to reopen the economy soon?
Well, he doesn't not agree. I mean, we had a long talk, and he understands there's a tremendous cost to our country, both in terms of lives and in terms of economics and in terms of many, many years of rebuilding something that was a fine-tuned machine. It was nobody's fault. It just happened. This horrible virus came from wherever, and it just happened. It just happened. He fully understands that. No, he's a good man. I like Dr. Fauci a lot, just so you understand. No, he's not here because we really weren't discussing what he's best at, but he'll be back up very soon.
Uh-oh. You know what that means. I think he's gone. I think he's going to be gone very soon. So here's the thing, right? So now the reason that we need Dr. Fauci in that position to push back to do what he's been doing is because what the president has been saying is dangerous. Going back to the chloroquine, right? An Arizona man died after taking chloroquine phosphate because he thought it would protect him, right? You realize what chloroquine phosphate is? It's fish tank cleaner. What? Why? Why would you do that? Because the president said, hey, it's okay. It'll solve your problem. It'll protect you. Trust me. Well, that guy did trust you, and now he's dead. This is why we actually need real medical experts in order to do these briefings and not a reality show clown. Trump shouldn't be doing these at all because all he's doing is actually misinforming the public. He is putting people literally in danger by spreading ridiculous lies. But look, I don't think that's going to happen. I'd be surprised if Fauci is at the next meeting. But I think he's going to get fired. That's it. I mean, already, I gave you a story yesterday where there's been tension behind the scenes. And recently, Donald Trump has taken the position against Dr. Fauci's advice to say, let's get back to work by Easter. I mean, look, according to HuffPost, Trump on Monday said he was considering loosening restrictions on social distancing and said the damage from the economy to the economy from those measures might actually be worse than the thing that they were designed to fight. I mean, this is dangerous. Millions of people could die. But hey, my stock market, my portfolio, and oh yeah, my reelection. I mean, look, if he does this, well, this could turn a disaster into a complete catastrophe. I know we're kind of moving up here, like, oh, already it's a disaster, unmitigated disaster. Now, complete catastrophe. I don't know what's left. I don't know what else is, what other word you could really use to escalate to really show how far we're falling into complete and utter madness. This is bad advice. This is terrible. And unfortunately, he's heading in that direction. Trump said he would consider the advice of Dr. Fauci and other public experts before making his decision, even as he acknowledged he disagrees with their views. Quote, if it was up to the doctors, they might say shut down the entire world. Yeah. You know why? Because they're actual experts. They are experts. You are a reality show TV clown. Yeah, of course. They know better than you, and they know exactly what we need to do. We need to shut down the United States for at least 5 weeks. I know that sucks. It sucks for the stock market, sucks for the portfolio, but if Congress actually gets their act together and passes stimulus measures, that will actually help the stock market. And then when we all emerge all safely and and ready to get back to work, then we can work on rebuilding the economy. But right now, we can't do that. It's ridiculous. Now, Trump also said he doesn't agree. He understands there's a tremendous cost to our country, both in terms of lives and in terms of economics. He fully understands that. Now, look, going back to the science interview, Dr. Fauci did say, hey, look, there is a balance here, and there is something that we need to do, to protect the economy as well. And that's an important consideration. But we really have to put people's health first, and we have to do this social distancing, and we have to do these quarantines. There's no way around it. And if you don't do that, then you're going to drag this out even longer, which guess what? That means more economic damage. And add into that massive loss of life. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. But here's the thing, right? Trump is so desperate to get back to what he considers normal, which is, of course, roaring stock market and fat gains, right? That's not going to happen. We're past that. We are down the rabbit hole so far now. We're not going to be able to get out. It's going to take years to dig us out of already the economic devastation. And so, and that's at least my best guess. Okay. You can't just shut off the economy like this and then immediately go back to normal afterwards. In the best case scenario, we will be dealing this for years. And what matters now the most is how we help regular working people to weather this, to go through this, and to make sure that millions of people do not fall into debt. And we could do that, but by, of course, freezing debt collection for the time that, those 5 weeks or 2 months, freeze credit card payments, freeze rents, mortgages, all that stuff. The banks are going to be fine. We're literally, the Federal Reserve is printing money. They're giving them like $1 trillion a day. They're pumping that into the banks. Banks are going to be fine. They'll survive this, but mortgages have to be frozen right now. There's got to be a moratorium on that. Rents, credit card payments, student loans. Right now, there's a 60-day freeze on student loans, but you have to literally apply for it. You've got to call them up and use their automated system to be able to apply to just get a temporary emergency forbearance, which, by the way, there's no interest on that. So I guess that's a good thing. But what we actually really do need is, a complete cancellation on student loans. The Democratic bill going through the House right now features about $10,000 worth of student loan cancellation. Why can't we just go an extra step and get rid of all of it? I'll never understood why the incrementalism? It's ridiculous, especially since the government is basically the creditor. And if you can print up all this money, or the Federal Reserve can print up all this money and loan it out, I don't understand why the government can't just borrow that money and wipe out all student loan debt. Doesn't make any sense to me, but what we've got to do is we got to stop worrying about the super wealthy. The super wealthy are already still super wealthy. Even though they've taken gigantic losses in the stock market, guess what? They're still going to survive. That worker that lost their job and their health insurance through work and no longer has health insurance, well, they, look, it's getting really close to time to pay rent. I mean, it's due on the 1st. It's the 24th today. Those people are screwed if we don't help them. Opening up businesses and sending people back to work, that's not going to do anything. Who's buying stuff right now? No, people are buying essentials. They're stocking up on, unfortunately, toilet paper and hand sanitizer. But there's also stocking up on food and essentials. Nobody's out there going and buying iPhones. Okay, they don't have any money. And even if they have money, pretty soon they're not going to have money. And when that happens, when people run out of the basic essentials in order to survive, that's when it's going to get really ugly. And so we need to focus on that and not on rich people and corporations. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.